Welcome everyone to Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden, and I'll be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about a different type of perspective. Who we are on the inside might not reflect who we are on the outside. Because what our eyes tell us or what we see or perceive from the world tells us a lot about ourselves. So we're going to be talking about my recent blog, the belief within, right? Within us, right? Who we are within. And then understanding how we look at life, because sometimes we might think we know what we're doing, but then our actions or the result is not what we're really looking for. So we're going to get into that. Before we do that, of course, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, do all those things that help build a community of people who are trying to get a better and stronger mindset. Getting into today's blog, we have to go over to the website. So let's go. All right. If you're new to the podcast, here is revenconcepts.com. You just come to the main homepage and you'll see a tab, resources, and then blog. For mobile apps, it's the same thing. Just go to resources and then blog. And then, of course, you'll click it. And then the most recent blog that came out will be within the eyes of the beholder, which I already have pulled up for us. Now, looking at this blog, we are going to find out that how we perceive things is going to be for us, right? Think of it this way. Is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? And many people have a different perspective. And just because someone has a different perspective on their glass, it doesn't mean they're wrong. What we look at, that's going to be our mindset. Because if we're seeing the negative or we're seeing the worry, our mindset is looking for that naturally. So how do we get past that, right? How do we get to a better, different type of mindset? Well, we have to understand something. What we perceive is what we believe. So reading this blog, definitely a good start for understanding within the eyes of the beholder. But we're going to dive into what that truly means today. And before we do that, I want to show you my Instagram page. And on my Instagram page, I do have a post. This post says, sometimes life is about risking everything for a dream no one can see but you. And this is very relevant to today's episode because it says within the eyes of the beholder, my dreams are my dreams, right? I don't expect you to have the same dreams as me. I don't expect you to have the same aspirations as me. Now, of course, if you're listening, you might have a like mindset, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we have the same dreams, okay? So we have a person here, Rupert. He said something about Putin had dreams. Well, yeah, I understand that people have these moments where they might be doing something bad in their life, right? So he's saying Russia was here, Putin had dreams and all this stuff, all this negative, right? It's negative stuff. I was thinking, what should I say? Right? What should I reply to him? Because I reply to everyone on Instagram. I was like, he needs a reply because he's talking about what is a dream from someone else that's negative, right? And it so closely embodies within the eyes of the beholder. He sees this quote, sometimes life is about risking everything for a dream no one can see but you, as someone doing evil and that their dream was a bad thing. So I was thinking, what can I say? And I said this, sometimes people will have bad dreams. You just have to make sure yours is better. And that's powerful because we're going to talk about that philosophy and that way of thinking right now. My response was very similar to Rumi. And Rumi says, be the change you want to be in the world or you want to see in the world. Because if I see the world on fire, what do I want to be? Do I want to be dry kindling for the fire to spread quicker? Or do I want to be an ocean, a fire extinguisher, something, right? To douse the flames of the world. I can be the cure. But sometimes we see the problem and we don't find a solution. We say, oh, this is a problem. We can't find a solution. Now, I completely understand where Rupert is talking about. How can someone have a bad dream, but then we believe in that bad dream? Now, easy comes with bad. Hard comes with good. Now, let me break that down. You can have an easy life. You don't have to do anything. You can just sit there and have an easy life. You don't have to try. You don't have to have challenge. But imagine if you said, you know what? I want to give my life a little bit more challenge. I'm going to try to push myself a little bit more. I'm going to activate my fullest potential here and there, maybe, right? Initially. Now we're going to say, okay, I'm going to be more in life, but that path is a more difficult journey. We have a harder life. And I like to think of it as weeds, right? If you try to grow something meaningful in your garden, peppers, tomatoes, it might grow easy, right? But there's always some buddies that grow without your consent. Those are the weeds, those negative thoughts. And what those weeds do is that they take the nutrition or the nutrients from your soil, that your plants, that the food that you're going to be eating, the tomatoes, the cucumbers, everything, they take that nutrients away and it just gets wasted away on these weeds. You can't eat these weeds, right? They're not healthy. So we can complain about the weeds, or we can say, I don't want these weeds in my garden. And we pick them. Because the idea of our dream is to dream of the garden, of the fruit that is going to blossom and bear. Not so much about the weeds we have to pull. So yes, we can look at the negative in our life. But where does that lead us? Maybe to a better understanding of ourselves. But if we look at the change that we see that we don't like, why are we not looking at the change that we do like? So the power or the belief within us, I am looking at something in a different light. That's through my eyes. And we have to understand, just because I read something doesn't mean it has to be someone else's belief. But it has to be true to me, and it has to be a representative. Basically, my thoughts have to be a representative of what type of mindset I want to have. Because you can choose whatever type of mindset you want. You can have an ego inflated type of mindset. You can have a peaceful demeanor type of mindset. You can have a curious type of mindset. There's no wrong mindset. There's your mindset, right? Now, of course, there's going to be mindsets that are going to be more beneficial to get to different places in life, right? But we are going to be looking at, what are we seeing first? My eyes, my viewpoint. But it's not so much about opinion. It's literally your belief. Because the conversation with Rupert, again, he was like, this person's doing bad. Well, why are you focused on that person? I remember when I was a teacher, there was a student who did something bad, and a teacher basically talked to the student saying, hey, you can't do this. And the student immediately went to defend themselves. And they say, but this person did this. They also did this, right? So it was okay that other people did it. Not because the person got caught. If other people are doing it, I should be able to do it too. I'm looking at what the world is doing around me, my environment. That's what kids do. They do it. And when they get in trouble, they question, but they did it. Why can't I do it? And it's similar to this blog. I'm seeing the world in my light. Why is it wrong? And it's not wrong. It's your viewpoint. But then at some point you have to ask yourself, is your viewpoint taking you to the place you want to be in life? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. And people who come to work with me, they want to get to a different viewpoint. They have a trauma in their life. They have a problem. They're not completely fulfilled, satisfied. So they say, I want to make a change. And they do make the change. That start is being the person that's going to make the change in their world. Because if you see a bunch of hungry people, what do we do? Do we blame the government? Saying, oh, the reason why there are all these hungry people on the streets is because the government is overcharging people for food and there's not enough food to go around. So all these people are going to go hungry. Do we blame them, or do we say, well, how can we feed these people? And then now we're more proactive. There's a difference between complaining, looking at the bad, and then looking at the good. If I gave you a test, a math test, an algebra test, you're going to maybe say, oh, I haven't done this since high school, or I never learned this before. Or you might say, oh, this is easy, right? You have a few options. The common thread is going to be, I have to take a test and I might not know this information. I don't know the solution. So yes, we don't know the solution, but why not put in the effort, right? Because the test is not going to be graded. It's just a test. Now, I understand the concept of tests. They are supposed to be graded. But the idea of I'm giving you a math test, math equations need solutions. Our life is similar to an equation where we have the ability to apply solutions to any problem that come our way. So if I'm confronted with a negativity in my life, how do I deal with that? That's mindset. Because if someone came up to me and they started yelling at me saying, oh, if someone has a bad dream, then, they're bad and stuff like that. So this quote is wrong or something like that. Or I had such a hardship in my life and I had so much trauma. You don't know my struggle. I never said I did. I completely understand that everyone's journey is going to be unique. Your struggle, my struggle, they're different. And I'm not going to belittle your struggle. What you went through is what you went through. But what you overcome is what is going to be possible because of you. And I understand many people are going to be in an uproar about, like this can be that or that can be this. Well, what would you like in your life? Because at the end of the day, you're the one living it. And are you truly happy with the life that you're living? Typically, when you do positive things, life feels better. When you do negative things, life just is more work, naturally. Think of it in the sense of true and false. If you told someone a lie, you have to remember that lie. But if you told someone the truth, you remember that truth. So we have to get into that way of thinking. I'm being truthful to me. I'm being honest to me. I'm not listening to what society says per se. I'm listening to what I say. Now, society can be doing the complete opposite of what I'm doing. I'm good. I don't need to follow society. I don't need peer acceptance. That doesn't serve me. What serves me is me understanding that I'm making a difference for the positive in life. And the tools that I give someone, understand this, that is going to be up for them to interpret how to use them. Just think of a fork. It could be used to eat. It could be used to prepare meals. It could be used to stab someone in the eye. It could be used in the wrong manner. Same thing with a knife. The fork was just an example because a knife can be viewed as a weapon. A fork, not so much. It is pointy, but it's typically not used in the sense of a weapon standpoint. But the knife is the same thing. You can use a knife as preparing food, as a weapon. You can use it in multiple manners. There's multiple facets that you can use a knife. Do you use a knife the wrong way or the right way? Of course, you could say, well, I got a K-bar. It's a different type of knife. It's a battle knife. And that is going to be a type of weapon knife. Now, can you cut a tomato with it? Yeah, sure. Why not, right? It's a knife. What do you look at? Do you see the knife as a problem or do you see the knife as a tool that you can use? So if I help someone and they have a dream that's so far-fetched and maybe it's not the best dream, I still ask them, well, is this good for you? Is this positive for the world? And typically they say, it's good for me. It's positive for the world. I rarely get people that have a dream that's so negative that I say, hey, I can't help you with your dream. Very rare because people are not going to waste their time coming and reaching out to me and talking to me and saying, hey, I have this dream, and they get shot down. Because I have 15 minutes to you in the consultation. I'm going to figure out if I want to work with you, and you're going to figure out if you want to work with me. It's a two-way street. I understand that it hurts people's feelings sometimes if I deny service to them. Oh, you don't want to help me. You're supposed to be helping people. I understand. I want to help people. But at the same time, I'm not going to help someone who's going to be creating more work for me. Imagine if I had a dog and I'm in the garden and I'm digging plants and doing everything, planting seeds. Then the dog is behind me, digging at the seeds up. So all the work that I'm doing is being undone because the dog is walking behind me, digging up all the seeds that I'm planting. It's not helpful. So we need to figure out what we want to accomplish. So taking a look at the blog, we have to understand that we're going to be wired differently. And I understand that not everyone is going to be perceiving the world in the same way, right? I don't expect that. But how we see things is going to be up for our interpretation. So if you're out on a journey, if you're out in your day, are you paying attention? Many people do not pay attention in their days. Many people don't even realize they're unhappy. They literally will walk throughout their day unhappy, unsatisfied, unfulfilled, and be okay with it. And this blog is a representation of that way of thinking within the eyes of the beholder. And then we have to look into the next part, who you are on the inside, your true self. Are you happy? Are you satisfied with life? And many people are going to say that they're not. Many people want to make a change, but they don't know how. And this blog is going to be a good start to figure out how to get to a better way of thinking, a better mindset. In closing, when we're looking at the world, our situation, within the eyes of the beholder, how am I viewing things? Am I viewing things in a positive light, or am I viewing things in a negative light? Now, for me, it was a mindset journey to start to live in the moment, to be able to go to the gym and be mindful, paying attention to everything, being appreciative to all aspects of my life. Every morning, I do a self-assessment on myself. I check myself. I say, how do I feel today? Do I feel good? Do I feel bad? And if I feel good, okay, well, what did I do yesterday? Let me try to mimic that. How can I make that better? If I feel bad, I say, well, what did I eat yesterday? What did I do yesterday that's not helping me feel 100%? Many people don't take the morning time to do a self-assessment, don't take some time to realize what they're going to accomplish that day. And they just get up, maybe hit the snooze button, lazy Sunday, lazy Monday, whatever it be. It's a lazy day. Well, we need to start to use our morning, that springboard, to help us get to new heights. In the morning time, when we realize saying, what do we need? Asking ourselves, what do we need in order to be our most ambitious self that day, our fullest self? Then we're going to be able to pay more attention to the things that matter. When your kid runs up to you, your parents, friends, whoever, they're happy to see you. They smile. You have a great conversation. Pay attention. Don't just be on your smartphone. Don't just be in a different world. Don't just be worried about the state of the world or what was on the news or what's in society. You're in a moment right now that you can cherish, because before you know it, that moment's going to be gone. And how you see the next moment, will it stay or will it be remembered or forgotten? And many people, they will focus on the negative more so than the positive. It's a mindset shift when you say, I want to focus more on the positive things in my life rather than focusing on the negative things. It's a complete mindset shift. Because if you think about it, can you remember the last time you were sad? Right? Can you remember the last time you were happy? Maybe. Why can't we start to look at that happiness as something that we say, I remember I was happy yesterday at this time. And let's focus on that. Because I understand it can be easy to say, all right, I had this negativity and it was so bad. My life has very few negativities. And it's not because I'm living a plush life. It's because I decided to change my mindset. I'm going to focus on the positive, even if something negative happens. If I get hurt, I got hurt. What do I do about it? How do I recover? How do I repair myself? How do I adjust? That way of thinking is going to be more powerful than I'm a victim. Something bad happened to me. I'm going to focus on it. So again, within the eyes of the beholder, going to be a easy, smooth, fun read to help you get to a better way of thinking. Because when we start to look at beauty, we have to understand something. And that is going to be, we are the people who are responsible for that beauty. I might see a flower, a dandelion, and see it as a weed, but you might see it as a flower to give to a friend. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, because when you give that dandelion to someone and they say, oh, thank you so much, they smile and they're so appreciative. That moment is worth more than that weed. Adjusting how you view your world is going to be an asset in the long run. So if you're looking for a change of mind, a change of mindset, head over to revenconcepts.com. And then, of course, we can get you to that better state of mind. I will see everyone in the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone, take care.